Speaking of legacy, I'm gonna move on to this next topic that we have here on the show because I thought about this yesterday, actually, and I said, you know what, Lil? You're onto something. I like when you think, bro, because when you think, magical things happen. I said to myself, Zay, you know what? Everybody talked about it, and that's exactly why I started off the show the way I did. Everything gonna come full circle. Everything is calculated about New Year resolutions and people talking about it and not being about it. Since we talk sports, who is an athlete that you're looking at right now that needs to get their act together in 23? As we all know, we are moving to the next year, on Sunday, Saturday night, January 1st, whatever. The new year is here. What athlete has the most to prove and have to get their act together? This is a make or break year coming up. Zay, I'll pass the mic to you.
That's a fantastic question. I think I had a couple people pop in my head automatically once you asked me that just now. There's only one person that I really thought of, and even though it's not about getting his act together, he has the most to prove, and that's Deontay Wilder. If he wants to prove he's the top king of the division, he wants to come back to show that he's still that A guy. He's the guy of boxing, and he wants to prove himself against Tyson Fury more than anything. He has to win those fights. This is a year where he has to really show himself that he's the king. Now, I'm not saying take 6-7 fights this year. That's ridiculous. He's up there in age. He's getting up there in age, to say the least. The power's still there. He hasn't lost any steps in that regard, but he still wants a lot to prove. He wants to show that he's still the king of boxing, and gnaws at him that he's not the king of boxing, that he lost to Tyson Fury. That it still eats at him alive that he didn't get that decision win over Tyson Fury in that first fight. And I think it's only going to continue eating away at him. He has to take out everybody that's in front of him to get to Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury wants to fight again, not too sure, but I think Fury's off of that challenge because he knows deep in his heart that Wilder is that guy that gave him the most challenging bouts. And I think Fury gets excited when thinking about that Deontay Wilder, and I think Deontay Wilder loses sleep when thinking about Tyson Fury. So I think that's right now is what Wilder needs to do. He needs to just continue to prove who he is and continue to showcase that he's not just that guy who lost to Fury. He's actually the king of heavyweight boxing or boxing in general. And that's the way he's going to prove it, is by having an exciting 2023.
That's a good take. It's funny because I'm actually in the sport of boxing too. That's a weird transfer of events. I'm actually in the sport of boxing in the heavyweight division, ironically. I'm going to go with Anthony Joshua as my make or break 23. And I thought this was easy for me. Very easy answer. But then you said Wilder. I'm like, I see your point. But I think this is still, clear cut for me, Anthony Joshua. Make or break. I mean, the man hasn't won a fight in 2 years. Okay, he hasn't won a fight in 2 years. So he's lacking there. And just 5 years ago, we was calling this cat the best boxer in the heavyweight division. Okay, 5 years ago, I remember it. My ass was packing out 70,000 in Wembley Stadium for high-profile fights. Okay, not even high-profile fights, but Tomato Kings. Okay, he was packing out seats. Guys was coming to see Anthony Joshua. This man's was a draw. Lost to Alexander Usyk twice. Fired trainers twice in between that. Okay, he fired the trainer. Tried to get him ready for the second fight. Actually looked better in the second fight against Usyk, but still lost. Wasn't good enough. His best wasn't good enough. Now fired another trainer. It's a very big year. My man's could go off the face of the earth, okay, if he doesn't have a big year. And that's why, as he's looking for a new trainer, you talked about the Tyson Fury negotiation talks that fell through. He had a chance to get another high-profile fight. I actually think that worked to his benefit because we all know that was career over if he loses to Tyson Fury. I mean, come on. So I think that actually was a good thing that negotiations fell through and it was unrealistic, because now we can be realistic about Anthony Joshua's career. So now you talk about potentially 2023. I need to see 2 fights from this cat at least. 2 fights. One being a fight that, I won't necessarily call it a tune-up. Okay, not a tune-up, but Dillian White possibly is what I'm hearing. A guy that he beat a couple years ago. Dillian White has his issues. He has his strengths. He has his weaknesses. He's a good body puncher. But, there's certain things about him. He always catch with the uppercut, right? Get knocked out, spark out. But at the same time, let's say you fight him, you beat him. Now we are looking at a Wilder fight with 2 guys that are having a lot to prove. Now, if you're able to beat Wilder, you saved your career. Okay, and that's why it's crazy, because now that you bring Wilder up, you kind of messed up my take a little bit, Zay, because You can make a case for Wilder if he loses to Anthony Joshua. That's career over. So it's like, it's just crazy how this aligned. But point being, I think for me, it's Anthony Joshua. But, the Wilder point was a very good point.
I think, hopefully at the end of the year, when they're closer to their fight, we can chop up these videos and make a little trailer so that they could post that and show the love to the 99 pod, because we definitely talked about a lot of Wilder, a lot of Joshua. It's crazy. I think that we need some ends. Hey, Wilder, Joshua, let's get some money in, because he definitely been talking a lot about John on this pod. I think it's crucial for both fighters to have a really big year, because these are the two fighters who are supposed to have that David and Goliath moment to really show who's the top dog. And right now, Fury's the top dog. It's ridiculous.
This was supposed to be the fight, the major fight, Anthony Joshua and Wilder. And it's still a big fight. Mm-hmm. It's literally arguably the second biggest fight in boxing still, just without the silverware to go with it. But at the same time, we want to see it. And that's why I can't argue with your argument about Wilder having a lot to prove, because he lost to Tyson Fury. He knocked out Robert Helenius round 1, nothing to take away there. We already knew he had power. So now as you fight the Usyks, potentially, if Usyk don't fight Fury, which is looking like he will, but if you fight the Joshua, I can see a world where both fighters can make their name, if they fight each other, right? And it's crazy because Wilder still kind of can make his name without fighting Joshua. Joshua needs that Wilder fight more. He needs to make that fight more. Like, if Wilder knock out everybody he fights, let's say he doesn't fight Fury again, but he knocks out everybody else that he fights, then his legacy is still what it is, just not better than Fury. But if you're Joshua, you don't fight Wilder at all, and you lose to Andy Ruiz and you lose to Usyk, now you're at the bottom of the barrel. We can go from calling you the best fighter at one point to not knowing who the hell you are. Anthony Joshua, I don't know who that is. Who's that? The mailman? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's a make or break year for both of these fighters.
Absolutely.
But I'm calling it into the universe, y'all. If somehow they fight Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua at some point, please take this clip and make it a centerpiece in a promotion build-up, right? Or access, whatever. Play this clip, please. Somebody watching this, share this. Make sure to get out to the boxing people so they can run this clip and help us make our money. Because guess what? We ain't trying to do this for free all the time. We got to make a living too. We got to eat too.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to try to do. Real quick too, before we break apart, write in the comments who you believe is a make or break athlete this in 2023. Who do you believe needs to have a breakout year or should be the breakout star of 2023? That's actually crucial. Always like and subscribe, but also write in the comments who you think is going to be that guy.